Hi, welcome to my channel, Invest for Income. Well, here's an update on my portfolio. As you guys can see, we're at $269,615. Although earlier today we did hit the 270 mark. We're currently up 0.17%, which is not bad for today. And as you guys can see here, this is the Greed and Fear Index. It's 1 point up today at 64 points. And we're in greed, which kind of unusual to say, but greed, in this case, I guess it's good. This darker green area over here would be extreme greed, which is over here on the right. And today, another good day in the market. Everything's in the green, as you guys can see. Earlier today, the numbers were better. The Dow Jones is 99.99% in the green. The S&P 500 is 0.20% in the green, and the Nasdaq is 0.01% in the green. And so what I'd like to show you guys today is an ETF. I spoke about it my last video. Is ULTY from Yieldmax, which I own 2,380 shares at $6.41. And so my estimated payout is $239.43. Although, let me show you guys my dividend income. It did take a hit because I believe that Yieldmax this time around is paying a little bit less. So if you've seen in my previous video, I was at $60,000 annual income and $5,000 on monthly income. So currently I'm down $200 on monthly income, only $4,800, which is still very good. And I believe the reason is it's because of Yieldmax. Yieldmax's dividend was decreased for this upcoming payment. I believe last time it paid 17 cents, and this time it's only going to pay like about 11 cents. So that did decrease my income by about $200, but that's okay. There's no problem. And so, but what I really want to talk to you guys is about ULTY. Is it really that good of an ETF, or is it good or bad? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Because when we look at ULTY here on the long-term line chart, let's look at ULTY right here. Here's ULTY. When we look at the 1 year, as you guys can see, ULTY used to be up here like at $10. Year to date, it's down 5 years, even though it hasn't been around for that long, I don't think. But as you guys can see, yeah, the high was $10, and will it ever make it back to its previous high? I don't know. You know, it's about $6 now. So on this line chart here, the value just keeps going down and down and down and down. So you ask yourself, why do you own it? Why would you own something like this? Well, you have to take into consideration the dividends. So this line chart here doesn't show dividends reinvested, although I don't reinvest dividends. And if we look at if you look at it on Robinhood, here it is on Robinhood. This is my actual portfolio. The current price is $6.10. As you guys can see, I bought it for $6.41, 2,380 shares. It's currently about 5% of my portfolio. And we can also see here the long-term track record of ULTY. And so we see here that it originally started at $20.42, and it's basically lost 70% of its value here on this chart on Robinhood. So here's the thing with these Yieldmax ETFs. The main thing about these Yieldmax ETFs is income. They're all about income. They're not about growth. So they're trying to give you the most amount of income possible. That's what they're trying to do with these ETFs. If we go over to their website, here, let's see, I got it right here, Yieldmax, ULTY, Yieldmax Ultra Options Income Strategy ETF. If we read their description here, it says ULTY is an actively managed ETF that seeks to generate weekly income from a portfolio of covered call strategies, each on a U.S. listed security. So the primary goal of this ETF is to provide income. The primary goal is not to provide growth. And as you guys can see here, the distribution rate is 86.07%, which is extremely high. It's very high. And so let's look at a line chart with dividends included. So if we go back to over here, I'm comparing it to the S&P 500 because I like to compare everything to the benchmark. As you guys can see, ULTY is the black line, and SPY, or the S&P 500, is the blue line. So as it says here, growth of $10,000 with dividends reinvested. So as you guys can see here, if you would have bought ULTY from the very beginning, yeah, you still would have appreciated, because a $10,000 investment has now turned into 11,673 cents. Of course, you would have been better off just buying the S&P 500, but what we're looking for is for income. You can't get income from the S&P 500. Down here is without the dividends. Okay, growth of $10,000 without dividends reinvested, which seems kind of unusual to me because it doesn't seem that it would grow to $10,210, but that's what this graph shows. And so the focus of my portfolio is income. I want to get paid now. I want money now. And so the only way for me to make money from the S&P 500 is if I buy it and then I sell it. So I buy ULTY because I want income now. So here we go back to ULTY, and on my Robinhood portfolio. And so that's the reason I own ULTY, because I want income now. I know that ULTY is not going to appreciate, although it did appreciate just about 3 months ago. Here, if you guys see here, this was the April crash. There was a crash in April, and then it did bounce back. So it did bounce back with the market, and the entire market has bounced back. But I don't think ULTY will probably ever make it back to its original high, or its original price, which is up here, $20.42. I don't think that's really ever going to happen, because the primary reason for this ETF is to produce income. Here's another comparison. As you guys know, I've spoken about SPY, which is one of my favorite ETFs. If you would have bought SPY a year ago, you'd be up 14% on SPY. You'd be up 14%. This also includes dividends. But with SPY, you'd be up whether you reinvested dividends or not. This purple line is ULTY. So if you would have bought ULTY from the very beginning and just reinvested all the dividends, currently, year to date, you'd be up 8.36% with all dividends reinvested. As you can see here in this big dip, that's the crash. That was Liberation Day with the tariffs, when President Trump announced the tariffs. And the crash for ULTY was quite deep by comparison to SPY. So SPY did crash, but it didn't crash as hard as ULTY. Therefore, that's why I can't own such a large amount of ULTY, because it's going to crash hard. While SPY doesn't crash as hard, and as you can see, it's already above its original high. This peak up here on SPY is its all-time previous high before the crash. And so as you guys can see, it's already surpassed that. It's gone up higher. And so I know that ULTY will, I know that SPY will return from a crash. ULTY did return from the crash, but it's not going to outperform SPY. But the reason I own it is because it helps me to earn income, as you guys can see here. So ULTY helps me to earn $57,601 on an annual basis and $4,800 on a monthly basis. So if you guys want to see me continue to grow my portfolio, if you guys want to see me continue to grow my income, because what I'm doing is I'm taking my paycheck every week when I get paid, and through the bank that I have, I get paid actually 2 days earlier, so I should get paid today. Although regularly I would get paid on Friday, but because of the bank that I have, and I get paid 2 days earlier, so I should get paid today. And I'm still trying to decide what 2 ETFs to buy. I'll let you guys know what ETFs I have decided to buy as soon as I do buy them, which is probably tomorrow. And so if you guys are interested in watching my portfolio grow, watching my income grow as I continue to invest for dividends, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. If you guys got any comments, any questions, please put them in the comments down below. I will read your comments and I will respond to them. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great day. God bless. Catch you in the next video. Bye.